Yo, what's up, chat? Hello, hello. Welcome, welcome. I know it's everyone's favorite person. Me, Dihan. What's up, guys? Thank you guys for coming out. You guys know what day it is. It is Monday, and obviously, people don't necessarily enjoy Mondays because it's the very start of the week. But also, the cool thing about Mondays is it is the start of your Overwatch grind. So we got some VOD reviews that we're going to be looking at right now. We got ourselves a lovely 2 VOD reviews, hopefully, that we'll be checking out. Hopefully we're going to be getting some good tips. We're going to be seeing how people are, or how it's going to go with these people, and yeah. Hopefully it's all good. Hopefully you guys are liking Demon. I did end up playing her yesterday, I believe. And, well, not yesterday, sorry. Earlier this week. Probably on, like, was it Saturday? Friday night. And she was super fun. She was super awesome. Obviously, this was after they gave her a bunch of buffs. But yeah. So we will see how it's going. Anyways, see. First person we're gonna be looking at is my man Popcorn.
Ready for battle.
So
You are looking as lovely as ever.
silent.
Dan Han Cookie D. Mon. More like D-Mect lol.
No, thank you. I'll just observe.
Yeah, Demon more like D-Mech, exactly, chat. We already know. We already know exactly what she's what we're trying to do with her. Alright, so we're playing Kiriko right now on King's Row, everyone's favorite map, 6v6. Which requires a lot more healing of people, but it looks like you're playing only one tank and he can sustain himself. Triple support, by the way. So I'm assuming we're just gonna go full damage because, you know, we don't really need healers if we got 3 of them. You know what I mean, chat? So, let's see how this goes. Honestly, top ropes for Kiriko wouldn't be my first move. Just because you have no kill potential up here. If they somehow are running a sniper, you could potentially be a kill potential. So I would have came out either this side or made myself just already coming in on this flank here. Looks like these guys are already being a bunch of weirdos coming in over here. But yeah, I mean, you have this route that you can run on Kiri. But yeah, they're being weirdos, so let's see how this plays out. Okay, so we saw we're making our way downtown. Oh yeah, yeah.
I'm grateful. Under my protection.
Yeah, literally, you have 3 supports, so we honestly probably don't need to be doing all of this healing and stuff. That Protector and Suzu was a bit of a waste as well. No one was antsied. Yes, he was behind a shield, but it's his own fault for being behind a shield. He's not really in danger. He's around a corner. He's in cover. So we really don't need, you know, really any of that, if I'm being honest. Yeah, it's just, chat, if we're in a situation where we have 3 support healers, we really don't need to be doing all this healing. In terms of supports that have the highest pick potential, you and Baptiste definitely have the most kill potential in this play. So the 2 of you should be focusing mainly on trying to get picks, trying to be aggressive.
You are looking as lovely as ever.
Trying to do anything you can to turn this fight. Because right now, what's happening is we're just constantly healing. And yeah, they're going to do a bunch of damage. We're going to be sustaining that. But we're not really going to be ever turning the fight into our favor. We're just going to be sustaining, keeping ourselves alive, and just really hoping that somehow, some way, Xion and Sojourn are going to somehow pop off. Gave in that Suzu. Not really needed too much. Now your healer's dead. Your Moira is, so we can focus on healing a little bit more now. Because you're down a healer. But yeah, I mean, still looking good. We can probably go for a couple attacks on, like, the Kiri over here. And a couple other people. They just hooked the Kiri in. Nice. Yeah, now we can be aggressive. Good pick. Here's an option where instead of healing, again, your team, which is full health, we can now rotate down here and maybe go through a flank over here. Your other option is to pursue across all this open area, which is really not the best idea because it's open area, but then climb up here to get an off angle to pressure from up here. I'm seeing a lot of backseat, like a lot of just like sitting back and just letting the team play. And things like this work if you have a team that is just better than the enemy team, because they're just going to win the game for you, essentially. But if you're definitely trying to make the carry plays, big Suzu to avoid that. But if you're really trying to look for carry plays, you're going to have to put the pedal to the metal, and you're going to have to take control of those reins, and you're going to have to make your own aggressive plays. Because what I'm seeing right now is a lot of just sit back and let your team do the work. And this will only get you so far. Not a bad Kitsune. Could have angled it better so it didn't go into this wall and it went a little bit further. But overall, not a bad Kitsune. Good pressure. We Suzu a hammer down? No, we didn't. Good Suzu on the Bastion ult, though. Big heals. Huge push. Very good. Everything seems really strong here. Yep. And then apply. Yeah, probably didn't need a Suzu there. Probably could have just teleported out. Even there was a situation where you know your team is picked up here. So rather than you just kind of sitting here, not really doing a whole lot, like you're kind of just sitting and waiting, you could have just walked over here so you had better eyes, so you didn't have to teleport in. You could have thrown the Suzu once they landed. But you did kind of just sit there idle for a little bit. Teleport in, now the Hog's dead at least. Bap's dead too. Now we're just really hoping that we can keep Apple Juice up. You want to keep your Zarya up in this situation because her charge is going to be the most important. You want her to be high charge for the next fight. So you want to do anything you can to prioritize keeping the Zarya alive. Keeping the others is alive too, but Zarya definitely takes priority on heals in this situation. You don't want to lose that charge. Okay.
You take a lot of damage, huh?
Good pressure here. You definitely lost your... Yeah, your Moira went into Zarya, and so that's why we're definitely doing more heals in this situation. Yeah, you didn't need to chase with him, but... Oh. Nice. This would be a pretty good situation for you to honestly just pop your ult. It will hopefully drive the enemy back. If it doesn't drive them back, they'll have to they'll probably end up dying because of the ultimate anyways, the Kitsune rush. But you are the only person with ult in this fight right now, so dropping that will basically just give your team a huge tempo on this fight. And yeah, they're basically stuck in that, like, I'm committed. And you kind of know that because if you do pop your ultimate, Reinhardt's only options are to turn around, charge back, take cover, and now he's kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place. Or he has to commit to the fight, in which case, you know, he's committed. Like, he's at this point where he is too far in to get out safely. And he's, because of this all, like, he's going to, like, lose his shield, and you're going to get value because you're putting him in this really awkward position. Too soon would be if he was located where the Bastion was and you pop it. They're just going to wait it out, and then they'll come and touch if they can. But he's, like, at this perfect scenario where he's not close enough to where your ultimate's not going to give any value, because he's just going to, like, start whacking, and it's going to be like, okay, half the people are dead. But, yeah, he's not too far away where he'll be in a safe position once you use it. So, you're at, like, the right time to use your ultimate, and I would like to see us in the next, like, 3 seconds use it. Okay. So we do use it. Only thing is, like, he's already at cover at that point, so we aren't able to melt the shield or do anything to pressure his shield, which is where Reinhardt gets a lot of his enforced space, I'll say. He takes a lot of space with his hammer just because the hammer's a threat, but he enforces that space with his shield whenever he decides to use that. Ooh. Okay, we're out. Nice. Very good back ult, by the way. Odd probably could have done more just pushing the enemy off at the point there, but... Yeah, I mean, we reached it. Again, in this situation, Zarya takes priority on the heals just because you don't want to lose that charge. But it looks like everyone is kind of up. Hawk can also sustain himself, which is why we can heal the Zarya over the Hog in this case. I like this off angle. I like the pressure. Yeah, so unfortunately, you need to use the Suzu preemptively to dodge the cat ultimate. Good Kitsune, good, yeah, good. Nice. Ooh. I feel like we wasted our... Yeah. Try to refrain from using your Suzu just to give yourself some heals. There's definitely other options you can do that require you not to use the Suzu, because the main reason why you lose this fight is because you used your Suzu too early. And you used it to save yourself, which obviously if you were in a better position, probably wouldn't have needed to use it on yourself. And two, you're right next to a BAP. I guess he just died to it. But he should have been able to heal you through this stuff as well. So. Keep apple juice up! Apple juice! Okay.
Soothing your wounds. That feels much better. Area denied.
Yeah, right now this third point's just feeling more like a, probably just more like a team comp diff. I mean, your team doesn't really have any shield or cover to protect anybody, and they have a lot of things that just have a whole lot of high damage output. Big. Yeah, definitely didn't need your ultimate for this fight. You already used 2 of your ultimates, so you definitely didn't need to commit yourself with the Kitsune Rush. And I probably would have recommended that on this point, we use the Kitsune Rush. Yeah, I mean, having a Kitsune Rush for that fight definitely would have mattered a lot more than what you used it for before. Only other thing I'd say is they don't have a Kiri, so was on a band. I don't know if I can check the banned heroes. But Ana, I think, would have been a good support to use, especially against the Malga, to anti his healing that he gets. They also weren't running an Ana themselves, so you don't have to worry about the Suzu so much. And you could have used it on your Hog to amplify his own healing. So, just a lot of things that Ana could have played in to help with this synergy. But yeah, I think overall it looks to me like, especially when you had 3 supports, you just weren't taking a lot of the damage into your own hands. And then the big thing I'm seeing is, like, timing of our Kitsune rushes seems a little too late, I guess. Like, the enemy is maybe getting a little too close to us before we use our Kitsune. And there's, like, a happy medium there. They can't be too close to where they're going to run over your team as soon as you use it. But they can't be too far away to where they can just back off and wait for the 8 seconds. Yeah, honestly, same deal here. If your team's playing like that, you don't have to necessarily be this close to helping them. You could have played a little bit further back here and done the same stuff. But you also can throw your kunai because you're running a double shield cop and everyone's literally at full health still. So I should be seeing a lot more kunai rather than a Fuda. You should be seeing like 70% kunai and like 30% of Fuda here. Like even here, your team is full health. Yeah, another reason I don't like your positioning here is, as you can see, we're standing in a choke point, and we are just catching fire strikes. We've been hit by 2 now. I have a feeling we're going to be hit by a 3rd right here. Oh, almost. A good Suzu. Yeah, what was that Suzu? What were we Suzuing? We use Suzu, everyone dies right before us because we don't have it. Yeah, beat him up. Beat him up. There you go. Okay, you definitely weren't. What? What? What are we do? What? Probably the worst use of abilities this entire game, right there. I mean, we wasted a Suzu, bought the Cassidy, that was cool. Used the Suzu even though we were safe from the Bastion ult. And then we proceeded to use our Kitsune Rush, like, into a wall point blank or something like that. And then our team died. You gotta stop catching the Fire Strikes, too. Fire Strike is how Reinhardt charges his ultimate very consistently. And so if you are catching Fire Strikes just from him spamming into certain corners and stuff, you're being a part of the problem for the reason your team's getting shattered like that. Okay, looks good, looks good. Cool. Why are we Suzuing that? Why? There's no reason to. Like, now you don't have it for your whole team getting absolutely wrecked here or for the high noon. Like, come on, chat. We're wasting Suzus. And honestly, the Cassidy might have just used that because you knew you didn't have Suzu for it. You gotta consider things like this. Sometimes holding on to the ability prevents the enemy team or deters them from wanting to use their aggressive abilities because they know it's just going to get Suzu'd if they use it. This is why in higher ranks and levels you'll see people call out, such as Junker Queen, let me know when the Kyrie has used her Suzu. They'll say, you know, like she does it, Reinhardt does it. Even Junkrat, you can see it potentially happening. Less with Junkrat, just because his ultimate is, like, so difficult to get big value with it. Especially with how low it is on health. But honestly, any tank ultimate is always asking for the Suzu to come out before they use an ultimate. Yeah, all this looks good. I noticed that we're not using a lot of high ground, and maybe it's because we find it easier to hit headshots while we're on low ground. But something else you could consider if you get better at aiming on high ground is potentially taking more of it. I don't think they have anyone. The only person you have to watch out for would be like the Mei. Oh, sorry, you have a Mei. Yeah, they don't really have anyone that can just, like, one-tap you. Or even really two-tap you if you're far enough away. So, playing high ground, playing stuff like this can be really good. Yeah, just so unfortunate they have a Ram ult. Here would be a good time to just stall point. Stall point. Because if you're dead like this anyways, you might as well make that 3 or 4 seconds count by stalling the point. Because at least it would stop it and buy your team time. Yeah, I mean, big reasons we lost that is Kitsune timing. Kitsune timing is the big one for especially attack. I noticed there were times we could have used it to just help us. get a lot of tempo, get a lot of momentum, and potentially win that fight. And the other option that we were kind of lacking on was the Suzus. I feel like we used a couple wasted Suzus, probably like 5, and using those incorrectly kind of costed us to not have it for when we needed it most, and then people would get picked, and then we just lose the fight because we had something that could have potentially saved people, and you used it when someone was like half health and somewhat in a safe position. So, hope that stuff helps, and as always, happy climbing. Next, we're looking at Boss Man. Looks like a Masters 1 Kiriko on Busan, so maybe this will help also if you're trying to learn Kiriko at a higher level. We'll see probably what higher level play kind of looks like in Kiriko. I'm expecting hopefully a lot of like flank angles, a lot of pressure from off angles, and then teleportations into safer areas from that. So we're looking at Boss Man here. These scrims always do take a while to start up. Okay.
3, 2, 1. Round 1. Capture the objective.
It's time.
Yeah, I mean, we're definitely all over the place here. Definitely the teleport Suzu was not a great idea. I probably would have tried saving that for when he actually performs his slam. That is where a majority of his damage comes from as Wrecking Ball. And then here just looks like we panic and then we need to help out our Orisa, so we just go and help her. But obviously that gets us picked. Could have been your team is technically up, so it could have been a 4v2 here, but you kind of made the wrong decision teleporting back to your Orisa to help when she clearly was split from the team. Good, Suzu.
My gift to you.
Yeah, honestly, it just looks like the team coordination isn't really there. Like, why is our Orisa in...
Hey,
Under my protection.
Nice. Oh, the cat. Alright. In my opinion, it looks like we are just, it looks to me like we're just teleporting ourselves into overextended positions, and we're not necessarily taking the off angles I guess I was hoping for in a lot of these fights. Especially on times like this where your team's like full health. I think we could be a little bit more aggressive in these fights. And... okay. I just feel like we're kind of... We're just not being as aggressive as we can be. I mean, remember, we have a teleport. Teleport is going to get us back to our team safely. But yeah, I mean, it looks like the other big part... I mean, obviously your team has to touch here. But it looks like the other big part is your team just isn't really playing together as a unit. And their team obviously is playing a lot more in sync with each other.
Mission underway. What do you have?
Yeah, even here, again, your team's full health, so let's... there we go. Aggression, aggression.
The objective is now.
Nice.
I've got you.
Like, I don't know. I feel like we could just be doing a lot more, chat. Because... like I said, our team's full health, and we're just not... we're, like, waiting for the team to attack us, and then get us low. And I'm not really seeing any strong aggression to anything. You know what I mean? Like, if your team's full health, you should be trying to formulate plans to get picks. Am I doing VOD reviews right now? This is technically the last one, but if you have a VOD in mind, feel free to join the Discord, !Discord, and then drop it in the VOD reviews channel. Stained glass windows is interesting. Has a map update.
That's what I like to see.
Heals here are good. Blubbled is probably a high-ranked player, because it seems like the only people that kind of pop into Twitch and ask if you're doing VOD reviews are high-ranked players saying, look at this specific game and tell me what I could do better. And so I'm sure that will be interesting to watch, chat. Diamond 2 peak, I'm not good. I mean, don't get yourself, don't discredit yourself. Diamond 2 is not a medal rank. Diamond 2 is better than, like, I don't know, 85, 90% of the player base or something like that, so... Yo, what's up, Drip? What's up, Dripalicious? Yeah, even here, like, your team's full health. You could find yourself an aggressive angle and then teleport to safety, rather than just being like a little... This is like a little bystander, in my opinion. Like, you don't have to go on a crazy suicide mission, but we can definitely be a little bit more aggressive here. And potentially find ourselves a pick or two. And then if it gets scary... I mean, Orisa walked away at that point, but... D2 is better than 90% of players? Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. What rank is this? This is Masters 1. But it's also scrims, so this guy plays with a team and practices with them on the, I don't know how often the practices are. When I was on the esports scene, it was on the daily. Well, like, yeah, like Monday through Fridays with a Saturday stream or something, or scrim or something like that. No, I already looked at yours, Corn. This is the Masters 1 Kiri, so I'd say there's probably a little bit more coordination here.
You are looking as lovely as ever.
Ting tung tung sir.
Born, thank you for the 2 months at tier 1. Subscribe for 26 months in total. Appreciate that. Huge sub. Can we get some hearts in the chat for the subs? Chat. Oh yeah, it might take a while here too. Okay, cool. Nice. Big.
私がついてる。
Yeah, especially if your Orisa's taking a defensive thing like shield, you definitely do have more opportune moments to actually give yourself the potential to be aggressive. I think a lot of the time what it looks like in this team fighting in general is you are too passive to wait for your team to start getting low and you just healing them. And you do have to be, especially if you want to carry games, you have to be a little bit more proactive with it. Thank you, Drip. Appreciate it. Yeah, we just got the... I mean, obviously, the other one looked kind of similar to this, but I think this is overall just a cooler setup. We obviously have some more free space for shelves, so I'll probably be filling up the shelving space with other things that I enjoy that people can look at if they want to. You can definitely see the stuffed animals a lot more, though. Might get you a pet sperm. Yeah, alright, Drip. I did talk about considering opening up a P.O. box now that I actually have, like, a more of a permanent residency. Alright, so we somehow went from winning this fight to getting wrecked? Nah, this is, they back up here and then...
Like a gentle rain. I'm with you. Now go get it.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, you did not need to use your... You don't need to use your Suzu on that Orisa when she's half health and under no sort of pressure. It's different when she's like fighting something like a Malga or a Reinhardt or a Queen or, you know, literally fighting any tank point blank, and they are shredding her, even a Bastion. But she was under no pressure. You threw it because you were kind of low, but also she was purple. But you probably could have held that until that ball dived you, because the only reason you got dove is because you used your Suzu. And then if you had it, you probably wouldn't have blown up there. So, also, yeah, Drip, we, Seth and I have a lot of house. So we are, as you say, home owners. Yeah, becoming more and more like a grown man, as they say. Right idea for the Suzu. I guess it could have been a little bit earlier, and that would have saved some damage, but pretty good, pretty good. Yeah, sounds good. Blubbled. Sounds good. I'll try to get to it. And by trying to, I'll probably just get to it next, you know? Big, big, big. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Is that an angled surface? Yeah, the reason you can't wall climb that is because it's angled. I think you would have to parkour it over here and then climb this. That kind of sucks. Not gonna lie. Otherwise, yeah, it would have been a really good idea, but it is angled. So. It's alright. This is only like my third stream or so. I've just been busy doing a lot of house stuff in general, so it just hasn't worked out. Yeah, another wasted Suzu in my opinion. Really did not need the Suzu there. You're just using it. You're just using it on people that are just already in a safe position. Like, there's nothing pressuring them, and you're just kind of throwing it out there. I know it's hard in the moment, but, like, that's kind of what I'm seeing as a big thing. So, I mean, in general, things I think you can improve on. More aggression, especially in the early poke phase. Why did we Suzu that? I don't think it was necessary, because you'll probably need it for here. So yeah, I mean, it's Suzu timing for sure. And then the other thing that I'm seeing is just a lot of, like, lack of aggression in the poke phase. I think you can do more of that, to be honest. So. Alright, and then, yeah, I think we got one more from Blubbled. Sojourn Emerald 6v6. I just want to know how I could have played better. I know I died to the cast unnecessarily too many times, wasted a few railguns. I think I was doing what I was supposed to be doing, getting picks in the backline, but I think I could have positioned myself much better in a lot of situations. I'm working on position because it's way worse than my aim. Yeah, well, yeah, positioning is definitely going to go a long way for you. Aim is something that, like, you either have or you don't, so... And you can obviously get better with aim, but it's going to take a lot more work than positioning for sure. Okay. We'll see how this goes. Double D. Yeah, I definitely like the pressure that we're doing here. I like that we're not just railing into a tank, which I'm not expecting for an Emerald player. Only thing I'll say is try not to be like, obviously going up here is going to help you a lot in terms of applying pressure, but you have to be wary of what they have near you and what they can do to you. Like, if they're playing something like a diva, as soon as you move this ability, she's going to dive you because she knows you have no other way of getting out. So you have to really be cautious on what enemies are nearby when you decide to do an aggressive play like this. Because if they have high mobility heroes, like a diva, even a Malga could potentially chase you down. Juno has a dash. Sojourn could slide. Like, there's a couple people that could definitely pressure you in this area. So you just have to be wary of that. And recognizing that the diva was here, seeing her there, you drop back down here, and you still see, like, she's still up. But you kind of go up here, and it's like, alright, well, the diva knows you're here. She's just going to pressure you here. And there's nothing you can do about it. So you get... She doesn't kill you, but you definitely get weakened down to the point where the Sojourn could finish you off there.
Coming through. I'm not a fan of setbacks.
A lot of positioning is going to be trying to figure out what the length of the enemy's dive is, especially if they're running something like a Diva or a Winston. Figure out how far it takes for them to dive, and then try your best to play outside of that range so that you're not an easy target for them to dive on. Or keep your slide so that when they do dive, you have it to get out.
Barricades on the move.
Nerf this.
Dodge this.
Blocking satellite vector.
Thanks for the help.
What's up, Wings? Yeah, I mean, even playing...
Blocking satellite vector.
Thanks for the help.
Like, even there, you played a little bit too close to the, Cassidy. Like, I didn't even think he would dive you, but he dove you.
Neither will I.
We're gonna take that robot back.
Everyone on me.
And obviously, close range is a lot easier for Cassidy because he has something that can stun you and hinder you, rather.
Not so fast.
Yeah, I mean, your team's clearly dead. Let's get out of here. Nice. Don't stay. Don't stay. Don't stay. Holy shit.
Appreciate it. This ends now.
Yeah, if you can help it, try not to just drop your entire ultimate into the enemy tank. It sometimes can work, but most of the time I don't think it will. And then, what do? You just slid? Okay, yeah, I mean, bomb was here, so... Might have died to it. For sure. Yeah, we'll say you'll die to it because you were protected by Hish. Yeah, I mean, just unlucky with how far we slid. You had a Reinhardt there, so you probably didn't need to slide because your Ryan was right there.
Recalculating.
Watching this location. Pushing the barricade.
Railgun charged.
And yeah, you're probably getting picked to be Cassidy just because you're playing in his effective range and not really your effective range.
The robot.
That's what it feels like, at least.
Gun charge holding. Disrupting. Railgun powered and ready to fire.
Force Crusaders!
I'm also seeing way too many right clicks into the Malga. Unlucky there.
Area denial.
Keeping the robot company.
Clear out. Kill the Mahol.
You're trying to get yourself. The enemy took the robot.
Vaporize. Disrupting. Enemy team is pushing forward. Railgun powered and ready to fire.
All right. Ember was really rough. Not sure why you got yourself out of this ultimate here. That could have just been somewhat good for you. Could have just... I don't know why we got up on this high ground. I really don't know what this is giving us. That, like, just walking a little bit more forward and playing here would have done. Because it takes the Sojourn out of the equation. But yeah, I mean, this just seems like a really awkward position to me. Like, almost like it's just unnecessary.
Stop them immediately.
Meet your fate.
This ends now.
Watching this location.
Force Crusaders!
We are at a disadvantage.
Oof.
No sweat. Just need a new.
Honestly, a lot of it does seem to be aim here too. You're playing a hero that is more very aim based. But I'm also noticing that we're going main a lot, and you're just kind of playing main for the most part. When the fight's over here, you can go over here and play more of an angle over here. Which is good because it makes it so if your whole team's playing here, they can't just all sit here and just be good to hide from you. Because you can play here and you can shoot where that is. And other things like that. And then if they choose to chase you, like, they have to go through all the open space of the team to get to you, which you can rotate on out. So I think I'd like to see a little bit more off angles in general that we're taking, rather than just taking the main angles so much. Because look, the enemy team has to play here. You have to play into the Cassidy's advantage of close range. And because of that, he's going to be able to kill you most of the time. Reese actually got him there, and that was good.
Satellite vector.
Railgun charged. Enemy
I know a lot of pro players also say it's better for you to, because the right click counts so much, it is better for you to swap your primary and your secondary. So your
I'll have to
M1 button will be your like railgun fire, and then your right click will be the machine gun. I hear that helps people make it so it is a little easier to hit, just because it's more of a natural shot. So that's something you could certainly try out. I know a lot of pros were saying that they got Sojourn's binds wrong when she first came out. But I know it's all a preference anyways. Yeah, I mean, even here, you know, you're just playing so much, you're not playing, like, off angles and poking. And as we can see by your comp in general, you have, you know, you have Emre, you have Orisa, like, these people all poke. You have a Juno you have, like, a brawly poke comp. Which doesn't really, you know, go all that well versus their comp, which they also have like a brawly poke comp. So I think on these matchups, it's really going to be the poke that's going to win it, which is going to be whoever takes more angles, or more off angles, surrounds the enemy, pressures them down, and eventually wins it. But as we can see here, the Cassidy had a really good off angle that he basically presents, and that allows him to really open up the field. So obviously they're brawling here, but then you guys are on the rotation out. And rather than Cassidy just playing main with the rest of his team, he goes on this off angle here to pin you down, but also pressure out and force these guys to stop themselves from retreating.
30 seconds remaining.
And then on this rotation, because of him, you guys are split up to where you have two people up here, two people back here. And then he's able, again, with this off angle, to pick out these people rather than you guys being safe because of this off angle. I would have liked you to be perhaps a little more aggressive and playing an off angle over here, where he's on low ground, so he can't affect you. But, you know, just you have more of a say in the fight rather than kind of where you are, which is just like completely out of the fight, can't really do anything about it. So he comes and he picks you, and then picks your Juno, and that's kind of it in terms of this. And then look, he's gonna go and he's gonna find himself another more pressure, and then he's probably gonna find himself another off angle here of sorts. So while his whole team is playing on this side, he's gonna be playing on this side as a little bit of an off angle. So the Orisa not only has to choose between shielding the team and then shielding him, but she's going to be facing consequences on whoever she decides to pressure or hold first. And as you can see, he's just sitting here getting all of that value, sitting on this off angle. That we haven't really seen too much from you. From you, we've seen a lot of just I'm pressuring and I'm pushing more or less main with my team. And because of that, they're able to stand in one or two positions and then just not have to worry about taking any damage whatsoever. So it puts their supports in a really strong position overall. Like even here, this is main. I'd like to see us potentially take the time, especially now that we got the Cassidy dead, do a rotation maybe up to here, so you can shoot over top of that ram shield. Never mind, because cage fight just came up. Cool. Yes, same deal. You could rotate, so they're not all having to stand behind the robot, and that you just can't shoot anyone. Like, as when you got low here and you slid out, you could have just taken time to walk up here. Now you have a little bit more of an angle to push and pressure the back. If this is too far for you, you can then rotate down here and have an angle over here. And then if the opportunity presents itself and the enemy backs out to over here, you can get yourself up to here and start pressuring over there. But we're just not we're just shooting main, and that's not really providing a whole lot of pressure to the enemy. And then, like, same deal, if it's not working out where you kind of were sitting here, you can do the same thing, but over here, you know? You could have positioned yourself to be over here, so you have this off angle, and then anyone rotating out, you're going to be able to pressure. But it's just looking like you're just playing straight back one-on-one, and this just provides no angle, so they're able to easily find cover to counteract you, which is tough.
I am so dialed
And we win.
Overtime. I'm not a fan of setbacks. Kill them all.
Yeah. And then we lose the whole team and lose. But yeah, I think a big part of it just seems to be off-angle pressure. You're just not... You're playing main, I think, a little bit too much. And the off-angles you did take, unfortunately, presented themselves open to get dove. And so you, instead of being basically able to turn a fight or to win the fight, you are now exposing yourself to be the first pick in the fight, which causes you to lose that fight. So just try to think about, like, areas that you can take that will be a strong, viable option for the team fight, but also safe enough to where if you end up in that position and having to use something like your slide, you're not going to be easily dove by any of their fast movement people. Yeah. But yeah, chat, hopes that helps, and that is it for the stream. We do this every Monday, so if you feel like you want more VOD reviews, Discord is there. You know where to find it. Don't be afraid to hit the follow button if you just want to see me just do reviews. I typically just do this every Monday, and it's usually my only stream day, to be honest. But yeah, that's about it. All these reviews, as you know, are for free too. It's really just kind of my way of giving back to the community, so thanks everyone for coming out to another Dihon stream, and I will hopefully see you guys in another one. Peace out, y'all.